Hello, welcome to my channel. Now, today we'll be looking at how to carry out evaluation without the use of calculator. So for us to carry out evaluation such as this, multiplying these numbers and then dividing with these ones, what we need to do is to see how we can convert all these decimal numbers to become whole numbers. That is what we just need to do mentally so that we can simplify this. Now, for us to multiply all these, for us to change all these numbers to whole numbers, what we need to do, we multiply with numbers such as 10, 100, 1000, which are 10 raised to the power of whole numbers. So now, let's look at how that is done. So I'm going to say is equal to here. The first number here is 0.6. So I'm going to say 0.6 has one decimal place. So this is one decimal place. So for us to make this a whole number, we're going to multiply it by 10 raised to the power of 1. 1 because it has one decimal place. So the decimal point needs to be moved once to make this a whole number. Then the next number there is 32. Now 32 is already a whole number, so we have no problem with 32. And then the last number is 0.004. For us to handle this, to make it whole number, we are going to multiply by a number that has we are going to multiply by 10 that has a power of 3, because this is 3 decimal places. So it's going to be 0.004 multiplied by 10 raised to the power of 3. 3 because this is 3 decimal places. So we need to move this decimal point 3 times for this to become a whole number. So similarly, we are going to do that with the denominator. This is 1.2. For us to make it a whole number, we multiply it because it is one decimal place as well. We multiply it by 10 raised to the power 1 because it's one decimal place. So the power of 10 has to be 1. Then multiply by 0.008. If you check this one, it is 3 decimal places. So multiplied by 10 raised to the power of 3 because this is also 3 decimal places. And then finally multiply by 0.16 multiplied by 10 to how many places? 1, 2, because this is 2 decimal places. So 10 raised to the power of 2. And that is what we will do to simplify this. So now, the next thing for us to do is to count the number of zeros that is involved in the numerator and denominator. If you check here, we have used how many powers of 10? 1 plus 3, which is 4. So we have used 4 powers of 10 in the numerator. Then in the denominator, 1 plus 3 is 4. 4 plus 2 is 6. So in the denominator, we have used powers of 6, powers of 10 into 6 places. So we have 1 plus 3, which is 4, plus 2, 6. So here we have used 6, and here we have used only 4. So in order to balance the situation, because we cannot use more on one part of the fraction. So since we have used only 4 here, and here we have used 6, in order to balance it, we have to add 2 more to the numerator in order to make it 6. So I'm going to say multiply by 10 raised to the power of 2. So that all the powers of 10 now is 6 in the numerator, and then in the denominator is also 6. So the multiplication is now balanced. Then from there now, we can now move on to simplify. So 0.6 multiplied by 10 is going to give us 6 as a whole number, because this 10 moved the decimal point once, because this is 10 raised to power 1. So it moved the decimal point once. So it gives us 6. And then multiply by the number we have there is 32. And then multiply by here, this 10 raised to power 3 multiply this, it means it will move the decimal place 3 times to the front of 4 here, and this becomes 4 as a whole number. So when this multiplies this, because it is power to the 3, or exponent to the 3 for the number 10, and then that means it will move these 3 places, this decimal point 3 places to the end here, and that makes it 4 as a whole number. And then multiply by 10 raised to power 2 means 1, and then you add 2 zeros. Because of the power 2, it means it has to take 2 zeros. So this has made this to become 4 as a whole number. This has made this to become 6 as a whole number. And then we have this multiplying by 10 or twice, and then becomes 100. So the next thing for the denominator, this will also move the decimal point once, and this number becomes 12 as a whole number. And then multiply by, this one will also multiply this, it moves decimal point 3 times, and that number becomes 8 as a whole number. And then multiply by, this will also multiply this 2 times, so that this number becomes 16 as a whole number. So once this has been achieved, that we now have whole numbers only, then it now becomes easy for us to simplify. So we can now break down the numbers and get our final answer. So 6 in 6 is 1, and 6 in 12 is 2. 4 in 4 is 1, 4 in 8 is 2. And then 16 in 16 is 1, 16 in 32 is 2. And then this 2 will also cancel this 2. So what we have left on the numerator will be equal to just 100. That is what we have left on the numerator. And what we have left on the denominator, we have only 2 left. So we have divided by 2. And that gives us the final answer as 50. Hope you enjoy this special method of evaluation without calculator. Please subscribe to this channel so that I can get more videos like this. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.